Hi guys, Master Schiele here. Today we're going to be talking about a very serious subject. We're going to be talking about what to do if your child is ever being bullied. I hope they're not, and if they are, don't worry, we're going to get through this together. I'm going to give you some expert advice to really help you and to better help your child right there. Please, if you haven't yet, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. This will keep me sending this information out to you as well. So the first thing to do is if your child is ever being bullied, first we have to find out, obviously, if they are being bullied. But once you do find out they are being bullied, the first thing you want to do is you want to be very supportive of your child. You want to listen to them, and you really want to truly listen. There's a difference between listening and then listening, okay? So what I mean by that is if your child goes to you and they say, Mom, Dad, I'm being bullied, okay, we're going to take care of the situation. We're going to do whatever. We're going to call the principal. Stop, time out, listen to what they're telling you. Listen to how many kids are bullying them. Is it one kid? Is it several? Listen to the names. Listen to where it's happening. Let the kid know it's going to be okay. Let your child know that this is something that happens out in the world. And if it does, we're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. And I think that's really what's important right there. They need to hear that support, not just what we're going to do about it, because, you know, that doesn't help things. You want them to, they want to feel nurtured. They want to feel protected. They want to feel that, hey, it is going to be better. Everything's going to work out. So what are we going to do about it? So that's really important, parents, that you do, and you tell your children that. If you're not, that is the first step you really want to do, is be supportive. Make sure you're listening to them. Make sure that you're really kind of following everything, every little word they're telling you, because that's going to be the key to seeing how everything's going to play the big picture. Let's say the bullying stops. Well, we don't want to scar the kids either. We want to make sure that they really feel, hey, things happen in life, but we're going to get through it. That's why we're taking this step, all right? Next thing, guys, is never, and this is a really, really important thing, once you find out why your child is being bullied and what is happening and all the things that are happening in that situation, the worst advice you can ever give your child is to ignore the bully. All right. I know sometimes that might seem like the best thing to tell them, especially in a situation where maybe they're just calling them a name or something like that. We don't want to ignore the bully, because ignoring the bully could just down the road make things worse. Remember, bullies want a reaction. They want something. So if they're not getting that reaction off of one thing, they're going to move up to the next and to the next. And that's how things can escalate very quickly and make it a worse situation for your child. So we never actually want to give the advice of ignoring the bully. We want to give the advice of, we need to tell a teacher, we want to tell somebody, or we want to approach that situation. All right. So that's going to be really important. Never ever tell your child to ignore the bullying right there. Don't blame your child. All right. So don't ever blame your child, and never give your child a sense that they did something wrong. They did nothing wrong. Okay. If they're getting bullied, something's going on right there. And chances are there might be something on the other side with the bully, right? A lot of times when we hear of bullying, and especially in these bad situations, we see a child, the bully is bullying another child, but we always got to think what's happening to that child that they want to bully the other one, right? So God forbid, maybe they're in a bad home, and maybe something's happening to them, and this is their way of kind of letting out, all right? So there's a big picture behind everything, obviously. But we don't want to ever blame the child. And I'm not talking about the bully, okay? We want to, obviously, this is your child, so we want to help your child. But there's a bigger picture with everything. So never blame your child. Always listen. Always carefully see what's going on right there. Now, the next part, guys, is when you guys are going forward and you find out that your child is being bullied, one thing that you never want to do is you never want to, especially in tight communities like we have here, we never want to just go to the kids' parents that the bully is, all right? So I don't want to just go to the bully's parents, tell the parents, and think everything's going to be okay. Actually, that's usually not a good situation in many scenarios, because it doesn't make it better, and it could actually make it worse, right? So what happens is we want to not go to the parents, all right? We want to actually go to the principal. So the first thing that happens is, if you do find out your child is being bullied, I want you to contact the principal directly, all right? The principal has ways of stopping that, and what's great about that is once the principal does hear about that, now there's a little track record. Now you can really follow up. So after you tell the principal what's happening, I want you to actually follow up with the principal about a week later, just to make sure that everything's going okay, everything's going great on their end. And after you're following up with that principal, I want you to also follow up with your child. All right, but we're going to continue to follow up with our child because the child is the most important, right? So we want to make sure, A, tell the principal, B, follow up with them in about a week, and then C, what we're going to do is we're going to continue to follow up with our kids. We're going to talk to them. We're going to say, hey, I know Johnny was picking on you. How's that happen? Is it getting better, or is it worse, or is it the same? Communicate with them. Let them tell you what's happening. Have a very open relationship with them. That is going to be really important. So never go to the parents directly. Go to the principal. Let the experts take care of that. That's going to be a very important part to making sure that bullying is going to stop. The next thing, guys, is if they are being bullied, we want to give them situations where they are in a place where they're never going to be bullied. And these are places that you can really control more. A great situation is obviously if your child is in a martial art class, for example. We're martial art teachers here. So if your child is in something like martial arts, well, we don't allow bullying in here. It's not something that happens on the mats. It's not something that happens on the floor. We have a very good culture here in the martial art world, in the martial art community, and everyone wears a uniform. And this is something that's important. We wear a uniform on the mats because that makes sure that everyone's the same. We're never judged by what we are on the outside. We are always judged on being a martial artist, being in here, and just supporting each other. So we have a wonderful support structure in the martial art world and the martial art community. So this is a great example of getting your kid in something where they can really get friends, build themselves up, and really feel great about themselves. So if that's ever happening, get your kids into something, especially martial arts, but it could be a baseball team, it could be gymnastics, it could be a lot of different things, but you want to really kind of create a base where your child is supported and they have friends and they feel that, school, and we all know this, school isn't everything, right? School is a big part of the world, but it's not everything. What we do is I had most of my schooling coming up in the martial art world more than my school because I just always went to class. I always was a martial artist since I was a little kid. So coming up in that world, I loved it. That's what I viewed the world as, is just a positive place where, people support each other. And that's why I'm such an advocate of really promoting martial arts, because it's the best thing. It's done everything for me right there. But if you maybe don't have a martial arts school by you, get them in something that you can kind of control it a little bit more, right? You can see the kids, you can see the parents, you have something that they can really get involved in that can embrace them and help them out right there. That's going to be really the key. The next part, guys, is, and this is probably the most important part, is if your child is being bullied, you want to give them the tools to help empower them and make them feel that they can help themselves in any situation. So let me talk, for example, if your child is physically getting attacked and bullying. Now, I'm never going to tell you to just tell them to hit back the bully, all right? So and that's probably the worst advice. So if a bully, let's say they punch your kid, we don't want to say hit them back. We want to empower them and teach them what to do in that situation, especially nowadays with cell phones, things like that. A fight can, really linger for a very long time, if not forever, right? Because most children do have cell phones or their cell phones around. So if there is a fight in any situation, they can be filmed and they can keep going, right? So we want to actually teach our kids, how to properly defend themselves, and that's something where martial arts will definitely help, obviously. And if you have a specific situation, I would actually contact your martial art instructor, have them talk to your child directly, and give them a scenario on what to do in this situation. I know when I was a child, I was put in a headlock on the bus one day, and I did not know what to do, so I went to my instructor. He told me what to do, and I felt I go, oh, I didn't realize that's what I can do in that situation. And what happened because of that is I was ready for it, but it never happened again. So in my mind, I already kind of resolved what would have happened if I was put in it again. But sometimes we just don't know what we don't know, right? So I think what's important is talk to your martial art instructor, one-on-one. If you're not in a martial arts school, a great idea might be to talk to a martial arts school, and you could just do a private lesson. I mean, that's something that we do a lot. You know, maybe a child isn't ready to commit into a martial arts school, but you can at least give them the tools, self-defense tools, to really help them in that situation. Now, the goal of this is not to fight the bully. The goal of this is to empower them and let them know what you should do if you are ever in a situation. And what's going to happen directly from that is your child's going to hold himself higher, their chin's going to be up higher, they're just going to walk different with more confidence, because confidence is the whole concept of bullying, right? If a bully is looking for somebody to bully, chances are they're not going to bully the most confident person. Now, confidence can happen in a lot of different ways. It doesn't always just mean I can outspeak, I'm outspoken, I'm very confident, I can go on stage, I could just, well, confidence happens too. Well, what happens if, you know, they get your child gets hit? How do they react to that, right? So we want to make sure confidence happens, you know, in the physical world, where they learn what to do if they are in that situation. So taking a self-defense class, talking to your martial art instructor, that's really key, and giving them scenarios that they're going to really learn what to do in that situation. I know many times too, here just personally in the school, when I have a child that's getting bullied, I'll work with them one-on-one. I'll give them things that really will help them, and usually it's done. That's it. It's over after that. It's not because of this big fight that happened, and you know, we got the kid ready and we taught them what to do, and then they fought the bully. And usually what happens is you gave them some things to work on. They felt really good about themselves. They started holding themselves a little bit different. And then when that bully came up to them, they weren't afraid anymore, but they didn't get in a fight. See, that's the key, is empowering your child. Give them the tools that they need to really succeed in a situation like that. So let's do a quick recap. Be supportive. Don't go directly to the parents right away, okay, of the bully, all right? Unless you have a relationship like that, but that's a whole other story right there. We're talking school situation. Go to the principal. Get your kids involved in something that they can build friends, and it's a good, safe environment for them, whatever that might be. Martial arts, gymnastics, a sport team, whatever it is. Give them something that they have friends, they feel good about themselves. And the last and most important part of it is empower your child. Give them the tools that they need to protect themselves if they ever feel that they need to. This will build the confidence. This will make sure that your kids just walk and act different in any situation. It will help them for the rest of their lives. Guys, I really hope this helped, and I hope this was an important thing. And as always, too, if there's anything else I can help with, please contact me. I would love to help you, and anything I can do to help you in that situation right there. Take care, guys, and we'll see you soon.